Welcome to the January 16th City of Oshkosh Plan Commission meeting. We're glad you could join us. I do see we have a quorum. I have a few housekeeping items to go over before we begin. Please turn off or silence all personal communication devices. The applicant and members of the public may speak to any item before the Plan Commission when the relevant item to which you wish to speak is called and public comment is open. Unless exception is made by the Plan Commission, the following rules will apply. The applicant will be given up to 10 minutes to present any information they wish the Plan Commission to consider. Thereafter, members of the public will be given up to 5 minutes to address the specific item before the Plan Commission for consideration. Members of the public may only speak once per called agenda item unless a Plan Commission member requires clarification or wishes to ask you a question. Questions or statements from the audience will not be considered. Only statements from the podium after your stated name and address and within the allowed time constraints are taken into consideration. After all community members have had the opportunity to speak on the called agenda item, the applicant will be asked if they have a final statement for the Plan Commission, and then the Commission may take action on that agenda item. The Common Council has adopted rules of decorum for city boards and commissions, including the adoption of a civility pledge. No person shall personally attack a board or commission member, city official, staff, or any other person. No person shall make irrelevant, unduly repetitive, offensive, threatening, slanderous, defamatory, or obscene remarks or act in such a manner as to disrupt or disturb the orderly conduct of the meeting. This includes hand clapping, stomping of feet, whistling, shouting, or other demonstrations. I thank you all for your understanding. Now on to the agenda. Roll call, please.
Ms. Shireman?
Here.
Mr. Lowenstein?
Here.
Mr. Nichols? Mr. Bowen? Mr. Kulabali?
Here.
Ms. Davy?
Here.
Councilmember Esslinger?
Here.
Mr. Ulrich?
Here.
Ms. Prop? Vice Chair Kiefer?
Here.
And Chairman Perry.
Here.
8 members present.
Thank you. First item, approval of the January 2nd, 2024 minutes.
Move to accept as written. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Okay, I'm seeing none. We can have a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Okay, minutes pass. Item number 1 on the agenda is a right-of-way vacation of Ivy Place and Public Alley located between North Main Street and Division Street, south of Church Avenue. The City of Oshkosh is the owner and applicant. Have there been any site inspections? Those are so noted. I'll accept the staff report as part of the record. Please present your summary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, this is a request to vacate a couple of rights-of-way located at the 400 block west parking lot. The 2 areas of the vacation include Ivy Place, which is a 60-foot right-of-way which comes off of Division Street and then narrows and tapers down to a 30-foot right-of-way heading south and stopping where it's shown on the map here. The second vacation is a public alley which is 11 feet wide, which runs along the backs of these properties along North Main Street. These right-of-ways were dedicated sometime in the mid-1800s. As you all can recall, the railroad line used to run through this property, and after the railroad was vacated in 1995 or 1996, the city upgraded and improved the parking lot. And this past fall, the lot was resurfaced, and at that time, staff thought it was prudent to do like a cleanup to vacate these right-of-ways because they're not really serving as a public street, but more as a parking lot, which is typically found on private property. The vacation of Ivy Place, per statute, the adjacent property owners will receive half going down the center line of it. In this case, the city will be receiving the bulk of Ivy Place with the exception of a 30-foot wide by 120-foot strip of land which will attach to 420 Division Street. The city's been in contact with James Staple, the owner of the property, and he's in support to receive the vacated right-of-way. And similarly, the properties along North Main Street will receive the eastern one half of the public alley And again, Mr. Staple is the owner. He's aware of the proposed vacation, is not opposed to it. So staff is recommending approval of the street vacation. These are just the, right here, they're the exhibits that will be used to record at Register of Deeds. And staff is recommending approval of the vacation of Ivy Place in the public alley as requested.
All right, thank you for your report. Plan Commission, any technical questions to the staff on this one? Ms. Shireman?
Mine is more about, so we redid it, then we made the decision to look at it, and now, here we are today. Is that how that typically goes, or is there like a map of these and you're?
No, so the vacations started way back when the rehabbing process was beginning. Just working through the process with DPW, legal, everything, it took longer than everyone anticipated to get it all worked out.
Okay.
So it was envisioned at the start of the project, just because of some of the nuances it took to get it all figured out and the documents correct, it lagged behind the actual rehab project.
What about going forward for additional ones?
So anytime that we work with Public Works on city-owned lots, we look at all of these types of issues. Unfortunately, we have a lot of these weird properties where over the years the things have changed and railroad way to happen. So anytime we deal in a lot and we're going through the process of upgrading and rehabbing it, we take a look at, okay, are there properties that need to be corrected at that time?
Got it. So site by site versus for 6 months, we're gonna just like do a project where we're gonna look at all these.
Yeah, it kind of follows with the CIP. When the CIP calls for improvements to a property, then we look at that, if there any cleanup that needs to take place.
Sure. Thank you.
There was also very extensive survey work that needed to be done, the city's consultant. In March, this parking lot will be coming back to accept easements from the backs of these properties or the pedestrian walkways leading to the back entrances. So there was a ton of survey work which had to be done, and that's kind of another reason why this kind of lagged behind.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other technical questions for the staff? Okay, I'm seeing none. I will open public comment here. The applicant is not going to give a statement, so is there any other member of the public that wishes to make a statement on this agenda item? Any member of the public that wishes to make a statement on this agenda item? All right, I'm seeing none, so I'm going to close the public comment period. We don't need a closing statement from the applicant, so Commission, the action is upon you.
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendations and findings of the staff report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this motion? Any discussion on this motion? All right, I'm seeing none. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Shireman?
Aye.
Mr. Lowenstein?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Mr. Kulabali?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Councilmember Esslinger?
Aye.
Mr. Ulrich?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kiefer?
Aye.
Chairman Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 9-0.
Thank you. The next two items on the agenda will be called separately but also together. The report will come together and then we will vote on them separately. Item 2A is Commercial Design Standards Variance for exterior building materials at 255 East Snell Road. Sunstar Holdings of Dakota LLC is the owner and Chet Riesenberg is the architect and applicant. And item 2B is a public hearing, a conditional use permit request for a personal storage facility at 255 East Snell Road. Sunstar Holdings of Dakota LLC is the owner and Chet Riesenberg is the architect and the applicant. Have there been any site inspections of this property? Those are noted. Thank you. I accept the staff reports as part of the record.
Thank you, Chairman. Okay, so the applicant is requesting approval of a variance from the city's commercial design standards to allow for a Class 4 exterior building material at 255 East Snell Road, as seen up on the screen. Industrial buildings, the code says that industrial buildings shall be clad in Class 1, 2, or 3 materials, and certain Class 4 materials are also acceptable. So this subject site here consists of a single lot that is 1.2 acres in size, located just east of North Main Street, and it's on the south side of East Snell Road. The site includes 3 personal storage buildings that were constructed approximately in 2006, At this time, Class 4 exterior building materials were used to clad the storage buildings. The surrounding area consists primarily of industrial uses to the west and southwest, with some residential uses to the east and the north, while the property located directly to the south is currently used for agricultural uses. The applicant has proposed a 430 by 101 personal storage building on the east side of the subject site, which is currently green space. The building is planned, as you can see above here, to be sectioned into three equal units. According to the applicant, the site currently consists of 66 self-storage units, and with this project it would bring it up to 69. As proposed, the fourth building is to be clad with vertically oriented corrugated metal siding and roofing, and that material is considered a Class 4 material, therefore prohibited in the industrial districts. According to the applicant, the existing three buildings were clad with the same material, and the owner would like the fourth building to aesthetically match the existing buildings. And here's just kind of another picture from above showing you the three existing buildings, this being the east side of the property here where the fourth building is being proposed. And here's a picture of the existing corrugated vertical siding. Here's a Google Street View showing the site as well. So staff is of the opinion that the proposed exterior material will not have a detrimental impact on the overall appearance of the site, as the proposed materials will be complementary to the existing buildings. Although the metal is considered a Class 4 material, staff feel that having the new building match the existing buildings will keep the site consistent, and it is consistent also with the surrounding area with the industrial uses to the west. So with that, staff recommends approval of the variance at 255 East Snell with the following findings in the staff report. Move right on to the next one. All right, so for this one, the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for a personal storage facility at the subject site. Personal storage facilities are permitted only through a conditional use permit in the industrial district. So as I said previously, the site is a single lot. That's approximately 1.2 acres in size with 3 buildings on it currently. The proposed site plan does meet the setbacks and impervious surface requirements for the heavy industrial zoning district. The applicant stated that the proposed use should not disturb neighboring properties, as it does not have any associated noise, fumes, odors, or glare associated with the land use. The proposed land use does require 1 parking space per employee. However, there are no employees at the site, so no parking spaces are required. All the parking that is needed to do unloading and loading can be done in the drive aisles. The applicant did not include a sign package, so if any new signage is being proposed, they'll just have to meet the heavy industrial zoning district standards. Also, a lighting plan was not submitted, so if there is any additional lighting needed, they'll have to submit a photometric plan to comply with the city's lighting standards. The proposed new storage building does require that 30-yard landscaping points and 52 building foundation landscaping points be installed, and the proposed landscaping plan that was submitted does meet those requirements with 30-yard landscaping points and 70 building foundation points. Also on the plan, they note that this is their stormwater detention area. So the Department of Public Works noted that full site plan will need to be, full site plan review will be required, as a stormwater management plan was not submitted. So with that, staff does recommend approval of the proposed conditional use permit for personal storage facility at 255 East Snell Road.
Okay, thank you for your reports. Plan Commission, item 2A, are there any technical questions to staff? The design standards variance, item 2A. Mr. Mamadou.
So this site in 2006 met the prevailing code, and the new proposed building does not. And but because we are is matching the surroundings and also the other building in the side. So we're making an exception, essentially. This is an exception. So I was wondering, just a concern with the issue of setting precedents. How often do we have cases like that?
So, I would say this is definitely a rare case where we have the structures that don't meet current code. Depending upon the area, like most of our industrial parks that were developed even prior to the current code had covenants and restrictions that had minimum standards that have to be met. And they're similar to what our code requires now. And this area, as it is not in one of our industrial parks, it was developed under the code at 2005 time. So we're not really worried about this setting a precedent, because I think actually it's not bad to have a precedent here when we're saying it's appropriate to have a style development for the area. This matches what was done. It would probably look out of character to have this building meet our current standards. We want to make sure that we blend into the area. In this case, this is the best way to do that, to be consistent with what's already there.
Any other, Mr. Kiefer?
With the lighting plan and the stormwater plan, it seems we never get any feedback on those until it's past this commission. But why do we? This is more of a general question, but why do we take these up for voting if not all of the materials are presented? And this, again, the stormwater is something we never get. And I like to see us get those before we take action on these items.
And I can answer. For a conditional use permit, you cannot grant any variances. So lighting plan has to meet code. There's no possibility of a variance. So technically, whether they submit it or not, they have to do it before they can build. And same with stormwater management. We can't grant variances through a conditional use permit. So the reason we don't necessarily make those be part of a conditional use permit is they are requirements that must be met. Whether either they meet it and it moves forward, or they don't meet it and the project will never move forward. The land use piece of it, which is what Planning Commission does, is what we're talking about through the CUP. Does this proposed land use make sense? And again, CUPs can't grant variances from the zoning ordinance. So they either meet them or they don't.
Any other technical questions on 2A? Okay, I'm seeing none. We're going to open a public comment period on 2A and ask the applicant if they would like to make a statement. Is the applicant here, and would they like to make a statement on 2A?
I can answer questions.
Okay, and so the public comment period is now open. Is there any member of the public that wishes to comment on this agenda item, item 2A? Any member of the public that wishes to comment on 2A? Okay, I'm seeing none, so I'm going to close the public comment period. We don't need a closing statement from the applicant unless they wish to make one. Commission, the action is upon you on 2A.
Make a recommendation to accept the findings and, what is it?
Recommendations?
As stated in the staff report. Yeah, that's what I want.
It's a big word.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, I'm seeing none. You're voting on item 2A, the design standards variance. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Shireman?
Aye.
Mr. Lowenstein?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Mr. Coulibaly?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Councilmember Esslinger?
Aye.
Mr. Ulrich?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kiefer?
Aye.
Chairman Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 9-0.
Okay, for item number 2B, the conditional use permit request. Are there any technical questions to staff on that? Any technical questions from the Plan Commission to staff on 2B? Okay, I'm seeing none, so this is a public hearing, and so we would love a comment from the applicant. If the applicant can approach the podium and state their name and address for our records, that would be great.
Chet Wiesenberg, 531 North Main Street.
It's a good project, right?
I think so.
Okay. All right, thank you for your comment. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak on item 2B? Any members of the public wish to comment on item 2B? All right, I'm seeing none, so I'm going to close the public hearing. We don't need a closing statement from the applicant, so commission, the action is upon you.
Move to adopt the following recommendation as stated in the staff report.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion from the Plan Commission? Any discussion on the motion? All right, I'm seeing none. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Shireman?
Aye.
Mr. Lowenstein?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Mr. Kulabali?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Councilmember Esslinger?
Aye.
Mr. Ulrich?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kiefer?
Aye.
Chairman Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 9-0.
Wonderful, thank you. Item number 3 on the agenda is a public hearing. It's a conditional use permit amendment request for a concrete batch plant at 3010 Bradley Street. Bascom Properties of Oshkosh LLC is the owner and Vinton Construction Company is the applicant. Have there been any site inspections by Plan Commission members? Okay, so noted. I will accept the staff report as part of the record. Please present your summary.
Thank you. The subject site is located on the east side of Bradley Street, north of West Waukau Avenue. The surrounding area consists of industrial uses to the north and west, a cemetery to the south, and an active railroad to the east. In 2021, a conditional use permit was approved for outdoor storage use for recycling and crushing of asphalt and concrete used by Vinton Construction, along with storage of construction equipment, job trailers, and semi-trailers. The applicant is now requesting to amend the existing CUP as Vinton Construction is proposing to place a mobile concrete batch plant on the site. The existing crushing and storage use will remain. The concrete batch plant will be utilized for production of concrete for private and municipal road projects and will be operated by 3 employees. The proposed use is permitted in the heavy industrial zoning district and is compatible with the surrounding land uses. The concrete batch plant consists of a 100 foot by 75 foot setup area, and it meets the setback requirements of the HI zoning district and will be placed on existing gravel. Here's an image of the concrete batch plant. It will have a height of 75 feet. That does exceed the maximum height for the HI district of 60 feet. However, the zoning ordinance makes exceptions for concrete mixing bins to exceed the maximum height regulations. The height is under the maximum airport zoning height of 76.1 foot for the area. And with that, staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit amendment for the concrete batch plant.
Thank you for your report. Plan Commission, do you have any technical questions for the staff? Ms. Davy?
Is there a time limit on this, or is this forever?
So this would be a permanent allowed use. It's kind of, staff looked at it and looking at they're doing the crushing, creating the aggregate for making the concrete here, kind of a natural use of the property. If you're going to crush on site, instead of shipping it off, mixing the concrete somewhere else, they can keep it all on site.
Thank you.
Mr. Ulrich?
Is there any concern for any noise ordinance that might be with a crushing related to the neighbors across Waukau?
So they have to follow the noise ordinance today. This would not give them any exemptions from the noise ordinance. They have to do it within those allowed hours.
Carl?
How loud is it? I mean, have people consulted the neighbors? I mean, it's fairly close to those folks.
So the concrete crushing portion of it was previously approved. Today we'd just be looking at the batch plant, which would make arguably, hopefully, less noise than the crushing.
Any other
I think I was gonna say the applicants are here. You can probably ask about stuff if they do know the noise levels.
Any other technical questions for the staff? Okay, I'm seeing none. This is a public hearing, and so I'd like to request a statement from the applicant. Is the applicant here?
Yes, I am.
Approach the podium, state your name and address for our records, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Bill Vachon. I'm with Vinton Construction. My address is 3920 Jinkle Terrace, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Staff pretty much concisely identified what our proposed plan is for the batch plant. Noise, we did do noise survey on other properties, and they do fall within the noise ordinance, so we shouldn't have an issue with that. I think the big thing, last year we used the plant 54 days out of the calendar year, so it's not a day-to-day, week-by-week operation. The sign, I see, I missed the, your ordinance that it can't be on the fence, so I can present something that shows a freestanding sign.
Thank you.
Any questions? Or thank you.
Are there any other members of the public that wish to speak on this agenda item? Any other members of the public that wish to speak on this agenda item? Okay, I'm seeing none, so I'm going to close the public hearing. We don't need a closing statement from the applicant. Commission, the action is upon you.
Move to accept the findings and recommendations of the staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I'm seeing none, so let's have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Shireman?
Aye.
Mr. Lowenstein?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Mr. Kulabali?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Councilmember Esslinger?
Aye.
Mr. Ulrich?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kiefer?
Aye.
Chairman Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 9-0.
Wonderful, thank you. Item number 4 on the agenda, the General Development Plan, Specific Implementation Plan for Commercial Development in 0 Oshkosh Avenue, has been asked by the applicant to be tabled until another Plan Commission meeting. In order to do so, I need a motion and a vote from the Plan Commission to table this item.
Yeah, so late in the week last week, we were made aware by the applicant that their representative was not going to be able to make it today. So they did ask if Plan Commission, because it had already been noticed and placed on the agenda, would be willing to lay it over to the February 6th meeting where they would be able to attend. Again, because it was noticed and on the agenda, we still have to take formal action at this meeting.
Move to lay it over. Sorry.
Okay, we have a motion to lay item number 4 over to the February 6th
Second.
meeting. Motion is second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, I'm seeing none. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Shireman?
Aye.
Mr. Lowenstein?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Mr. Kulabali?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Councilmember Esslinger?
Aye.
Mr. Ulrich?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kiefer?
Aye.
Chairman Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 9-0.
The item is tabled. The last item on the agenda is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We can have a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. We are adjourned. Thank you for coming, everybody.